You're tuning in to Gone.net.
Well, hello there. Happy World Series Ween Day because it's not Halloween. It's World Series Day because they're gonna win it. It's gonna happen.
Hopefully that doesn't age poorly.
I mean, I don't know. I feel it.
You're recorded.
It's been too fairy tale esque of a season for them. I think for them to lose it now. So it's destiny.
It just totally shat all over it, though, dude. I'm
no,
really worried.
listen.
Okay.
That's the Leaf fan thinking, talking like that. This is not the Maple Leafs, which I would agree. If it was them, and I'm like, no, I think they're going to win it, which I think I probably did say last year. I'd be afraid, but I'm not because they're going to win.
Speaking of all the things that I have to set up during the stream, if you forgot to complain about my lights.
Oh yeah, no, I noticed. I just
no. Since when? So I love Halloween. Right? It's it's a great time for parents because I get to steal all the chocolates my kids bring home.
Well, so no, listen, yes, but you're really doing them a favor because it's a really good opportunity to teach them a lesson about how like taxes work, right?
Especially in our country, 50% is mine.
Right. I'll take half of it. I mean, if you only get a few pieces of candy, I'll take, a lower percentage. But the more that you get, that next bucket of candy, I'm taking more out of.
See, I do it a little bit more like our government. I just kind of take it when you're not looking. And so it goes into a big box. And then my kids will go to the big box occasionally and be like, man, I thought I had more like Reese peanut butter cups. Oh, I don't know what happened to those. They must have gone into like some stupid passport app or something that the money just disappeared. The chocolate just disappeared, like poof, into thin air.
That's what we should have made. We should have made the Arrive Can app.
Oh, that could be in the future.
It probably wouldn't take that long to do.
AI can code it now in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But how much did it cost us? That one was a lot, like 60 million or something.
That was a bad one. That one is not excusable. Yeah, I'm generally okay with a lot of things that I pay taxes for the most part. I pay my fair share and then some. That one, nope.
I'm a little bit more vocal about what our government spends money on, obviously, but yeah, that one was pretty stupid. But I mean, if the company can rip them off and the government's like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. Well, we're going to need another $10 million.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to blame the company. Maybe that's what we should do. We need to start a consulting company and do government apps. I used to work in the government, You
used to work for a school board.
Yeah.
Quite
not quite, but it's in there. A lot of the processes and the way that they work and the way that like these vendors like are kind of like leeches. Like they find that they can get their little niche in something government related that nobody else does quite how they need, and then that's where they just do stuff like, hey, here's a bunch of money that I'm going to charge you for an app. So
I know I've consulted with hospitals and it's brutal. It's brutal. It's amazing. It's amazing we have any money left. Forget helping people, man. Just consume money.
Yeah. Anyway.
So in keeping with the Halloween tradition, this is my coolest mug to date.
Ooh.
I am going to be drinking from the Skull of Optimus Prime today.
Yeah. Does it transform into something else when you're done?
Well, the coffee does. I'm not sure you want me to translate what it translates into when it's done, or what it transforms
into that one. Sorry, folks.
It's also very very hard to drink out of Optimus's skull because he's quite large. But this is the coolest mug I got. This was when I was in Universal Studios, and it was awesome. It was awesome. I love Transformers. That's why I love Halloween because I'm such a kid. Like I really am. I'm going to go out tonight. I'm going to scare the crap out of my kids because that's what I do for fun.
We've kind of lost the moment, but I found the button, so I'm going to do it anyway. So you would say you went and you got that mug when you were in your prime? Oh,
Oh, damn.
right.
Damn. Well,
Oh, yeah.
let's see if it's prime. It's probably not prime coffee, but no, it's pretty good. I am probably going to slob on myself though, because like I said, it's a
Yeah,
ridiculously huge
it
mug.
looks a little awkward
Like
to
it's literally a fist. Like, my fist is smaller than Optimus Prime's face, so it's more like drinking out of a bowl. So, what cool stuff is going on in .NET? Not much in .NET this week. I'm told by all the news articles though that open source is probably going to become a thing of the past, and AI is just going to generate everything into the apps.
I
I don't see
mean,
that happening anytime soon because it's pretty much, you know, think about all the years we've been using GitHub. We've been feeding the
yeah,
machine
yeah,
unknowingly.
yeah.
Well, partially knowing, but yeah, they've
It's
got
I
all
mean,
stuff.
it's not I mean, I think like of all the stuff that I've just set some AI thing on loose on recently even, and like, yeah, that seems to be my go-to now, which is I don't know. I kind of go back and forth with from like I feel like at some point coding stuff is becoming a little bit more like when I want to like feel that good feeling of writing code, actually writing code. It's almost like a hipster thing soon, right? Where it's gonna be like I write code manually.
I don't know that that's ever going to be the case, to be honest. I think you're going to be able to get. I don't know. I still don't have the luck. I get
I've been pumping stuff out that I'm just like, yeah, this just works, and then when it doesn't, I just like tell it, oh, this part doesn't work, and then it figures it out eventually.
okay, but some of it you basically took it from an existing project. So that one that you converted this week was from
Sure.
Python to .NET. That's not really
Yeah,
fair. That's just language decoding.
yeah, but I mean, okay. I mean, I've done a few others too that are like kind of net new things, and um, you might give it like some similar project for context, and it does pretty well with just like even knowing about it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty impressed lately
It
with what I've accomplished with these things.
definitely helps speed things up, but it also gave you that bug that you were on me about earlier. You're like, hey, your mediator isn't source generating something properly.
That
And I was
had
like,
no, that
yeah,
had nothing to do with
yeah.
AI.
Oh no, it did. AI
Oh,
generated that one part of that code. I
oh,
didn't
sorry.
include
Yeah,
that
your
namespace.
thing,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Yes, that
yeah.
was
No, I'm not
yeah.
saying that we'll be bug free and whatever. But you probably could have gone and asked AI and said, "Hey, listen, this is what's happened. Here's what's generated." I bet you it would have fixed it too.
So there's some times where I'm like, yeah, I'll let AI have a crack at this. And then there's times where I'm like, okay, well, this is like a 2-second generation. It'll take me longer to type in the command
Yeah,
and then longer for it to find it than just go in and go right there, done, check it, spin up the test run, pass, good, deliver,
yeah,
done.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Right. So it's
There's always
still
that stuff too. Yeah, and I don't mean to try and sound like the bringer of bad
doomsday.
news. Yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
I think it's just it's a drastic shift in how, at least for me, it has been already, in how I approach a lot of things. And it's not that I'm not gonna write code ever. It's that, like, one good example, I just last night, yesterday, I like to have stuff kind of go in the background during the day. Like, I'll just set Claude going, and I'll just do my work, and I'll be like, "Oh," an hour later, Claude's like, "Yeah, I did all this stuff you wanted me to do." And
And by
so
the way,
I'll
we charged you about $200 for that, but
yeah,
hey, you got
yeah,
it.
right? Yeah. So I've
That's
almost considered upgrading to the like $200 a month plan from Claude, because like I use it a lot, and I'll
input
run
output.
out of tokens. Like, I paid the like 300 a year or whatever, which is probably coming up again, so I should look at that. Um,
Now I've been using it for I'm not going to say what it's for, but basically you end up talking to so it's speech to text
mhm.
for a good solid hour, maybe 2 hours. Well, in the case that I'm talking about, it was an hour. And so it takes that and it everything you're saying to it, it splits it out so I can put it into a database. It's
Yeah.
basically translating statistics, and it's got an okay error threshold, but it costs a fortune to run it. So that hour worth of conversation is going to be a hard cost to pass on to customers, I think. But maybe the bigger
Yeah.
boys, right? And it still requires that you speak like very clearly about what you're talking about, right? Like, you can't use like, I don't know. You can use some keywords and it figures it out like slang, but
Mhm.
if you miss like a key portion, it's like, how the hell did we get from there to there? You seem to have skipped some important info. And so it can identify those. But then there's cases where it's like, I heard this. I'm absolutely sure that's what I heard. So here we go. I put that in. So you have to, like, I've been going through these cases. I think I've done like 6 or 7 of them now. And there's that threshold that it does see, and then there's the threshold where you're like, okay, well, what happened here? Like, that's not right at all.
Yeah.
So I still feel
I
like it's got a
mean,
long way to go before
oh,
we're
oh,
handing over the
sure.
keys, but
No, but like it is early days, right? Like that scenario is something that will just continue to improve and improve as the models improve for figuring out, voice to text and stuff. Like, so did you ever see, that there was like an AI generated video a couple years ago of Will Smith eating like spaghetti? Did you ever see that one? It
I
was
think
really
there's
bad. It's like it like
yeah, I
looks
did
like
see that,
kind
and
of
they were like,
it's past uncanny even. It's like kind of like really off-putting, like just the way
yeah,
like it's
his
obviously
face would,
fake,
like,
right?
fold in on itself,
Yeah, yeah.
and it
There's
it
been an
almost looked like one of those things off of Stranger Things, like, with a
yes,
mouth, and it kinda just
yes,
inhale. I
yeah.
have seen it.
There's a new one. There's a
Yeah, I've
newer
seen it.
one, right? And that one, and so like to me, what kind of struck me, because that one's still kind of a little like you're like, yeah, I can kind of tell. Um, what struck me is that the difference of the two between like 2 years, right? And it's like that wasn't that long ago to see that level of improvements, and it's only like it's going to keep accelerating, I think. And maybe it'll plateau a bit. Like maybe there's the curve is exponential, and we're kind of diminishing returns of how well the models work based on
What's it
how improvements go into them.
It's like video games, right? Like, Xbox
Yeah,
is dropping off the map because they're like, there's just nowhere left to go, right? Like, they've reached, like, a pinnacle of hardware constraints, and I mean, they
yeah,
can certainly go higher, but then there's cost, right? So it's like the next system either needs to cost people $1,500,
yeah.
or
And
we can't
it's maybe
scale.
hard to demonstrate, a lot of improvements for that increased cost again. But I think AI is kind of still got a lot of room to go the opposite way. Like that, what you're saying, like the cost for you to transcribe like a bunch of audio, that's going to go down, right? Like that, there's no doubt about that. That's going to keep going
Is
down.
that I think it's actually gonna we're on
It's
we
gonna
do
go
have
down.
signs of bubble. I don't think so. And until we have, I mean, really, until we have fusion energy where energy is cheap, there's nowhere to go but up. And I think that
No,
that's it.
but
We have
the energy usage will keep yeah, sure, we'll keep climbing that. But like these things are getting better with less hardware needed for them, right? So I think like that's the kind of crux of it.
partially, but I think we're still on a subsidized bubble, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's
Definitely we are. Like it
it's
can't get
crazy
more
how much
expensive
the
without.
economy is propping up
Yeah,
OpenAI, right? Like, if OpenAI says we've reached our pinnacle, there's nowhere left to go.
yeah. That's a
Enjoy the
different
next Great
story.
Depression.
That's a different story. But
So,
I don't.
but
I'm fairly optimistic that we're not. Like I agree. I think there is some bubble aspect to this, but I don't know that that bubble is going to pop fully like, the web, the .com era. It might be shades of that, but like obviously like the technology and all of this stuff is here to stay. Like that's not going to go away. We're going to
no,
keep using AI in the future.
I don't know if it's going to do all of our jobs, but what
Yeah,
will you
yeah.
do though when the AI overlords take over? You gonna
I don't
farm,
know.
John? I don't see you as a farmer.
I grew up on a farm, so I went the other
I
way.
know.
Like I went as far
No,
away
I
from
know.
farming as I could.
Well, you've got robots to cut your lawn and clean your pool. So, like,
Yeah.
have you ever what was that movie with that little robot in Disney? And I think
Oh,
I've sent you the
Wally.
joke many times, and they're sitting in these two guys. This is what I picture for myself, anyways. And all they do is sit in these chairs and they hover around, and they're huge. They're just these big, massive guys, and they're sucking on their sodas, and driving around. They're not even driving. They're just saying, "Take me here," and I'm like, "Is that what's in our future?"
Yeah, maybe,
Like,
maybe.
no, maybe not mine, but that I don't know what I'm going to do as a hobby, because I've always coded for a hobby, and now
Yeah.
if the AI overlords take over in the next few years, I'm going to be coding. What am I going to be doing? I don't even know what I'm going to do for work.
And that's kind
If
of
that
what I
happens.
mean in the sense of like my workflow has changed so much that I don't really often or ever anymore like go open a bunch of code and then just start like poking around in it manually. Like it's always some version of AI that I'm using as my entry
But you
point
did
for the most
today.
part.
You're full of shit now. I know you did today.
No. I mean, okay, on that one project, that's it. And I haven't done that for a while. That was today.
But
But
AI is not
even
allowed
that,
to touch that project, is it?
no, even that, because what I was trying to get my app to run on Net 10 so I could test the XAML source generator stuff for the XAML compiler stuff. And I had AI do like the heavy lifting for like, hey, I need like Net 10 TFMs and stuff in places, and go deal with this for me. Like, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do any work. Just do it.
So
Do you even have it so the microphone's on so you can just talk to it and be like,
no,
hey.
I don't do that. I actually don't do that. I don't know why. I have tried it. I don't know. I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. Maybe because it doesn't like,
what talking.
I don't talk. Maybe because I suck at talking. Like I can't like describe what I want concisely by talking into a microphone with it. I'm much happier with what I can give it when I type it, I guess. But maybe that's just a practice thing too.
Okay. I
So
mean,
the boring stuff, like the one thing that I had it do that I was talking about before, I have this project called Apple Dev Tools. I don't know if you've ever used it's a .NET tool, like a CLI.
oh yeah, your
tool.
thing. Yeah.
And it like up until today or recently, it did a bunch of like random little things here and there. Like it could get like simulator lists and I don't know, all sorts of different stuff. If you actually put links in the show notes, maybe you can link it. But it's been missing
remind me. I forget.
yeah. It's been missing a bunch of commands. So like ultimately I'm trying to, I know you know about this already. I want to make a thing that helps synchronize my Apple developer certificates, profiles, on everything, right? Devices, like basically, Fastlane, right? Like it's like that. I use it Fastlane right now. There's parts that I'm not thrilled with. I don't love that it's a Ruby thing. I don't love some of the like conventions and stuff that it uses. I'm just like, it's always been like something that I'm like, I could do this. I could do it. I could do it how I want, and I could probably do it in a way that's like more of a nice experience to .NET developers for how they think about things. So
I still find it funny because it's really a John Dick problem.
well, no, I mean,
how many computers? No, it's because you have so many computers.
sure, but like, what about teams of people and like? So we used to have problems with that with MAUI. I don't know how most people do it now. I've always had my own dev subscription, but there were people that didn't, and they didn't really want everyone like buying their own and expensing them. And some people did that. Maybe they still do. And so you would like get made a member of the one that we had, and then like everybody every once in a while would just totally clobber the certificates for everyone else somehow. And it's just like every time that happened, everyone was just so angry because like, oh, don't do that. So like there's teams and stuff. Yeah, because Xcode
used
might
to
do
register it.
Yeah.
So you'd go like add me to this profile, and then it would add your machine, and it would add your I don't know, whatever else it's got to add. Then it would install the certificate on your machine. It's a little bit better nowadays, but
but you can
it's
only
not great
have
at
so many certificates, and then it might like invalidate someone else's, or then if you were sharing like the same provisioning profile because maybe you're working on the same like test app that the repo had or whatever, then you would like invalidate the profile and it would have your stuff on it, but not, I don't know, it's just like this whole mess.
Do you want to know what the easy answer is to all of this?
Well, you can copy it all to a place and
put
share
the P12 in.
Yeah,
put the P12. Take the provisioning profile, the dev ones.
Yeah.
Commit them to the root of the project. Is it done?
Well,
Is it
yeah,
done?
it doesn't really work in open source, unfortunately, super well. Like we don't
Oh yeah, forget
want.
that. Everybody else can figure that out. I'm talking
Oh,
well, because once you've got a template repo, if you're part of a company, once you have a template repo, you know, other than the fact if you're going to do certain entitlements that are weird, um, you can basically copy and paste that or
yeah, yeah.
reclone it and make something new off of that.
I mean, like I don't know, maybe I'm just really bad at doing this. I always seem so my cycle, even just with my own app, and yes, I have a few machines that like I have my build agent that I want to have working. I have my developer machine, and often I have two of those. Um, and so like I always find myself in this state where because I
What?
keep my P12s, I keep my provisioning profiles in like my iCloud or whatever, right? Like I export them, they're there, and then I can go bring them into whatever other machines. And I always still end up in this situation where I somehow seem to like not keep track of it well enough. And then like I'm not sure what state something's in, or like I get a new phone every year and that is annoying. And then I end up just like, or I run into some weird bug that I'm like, well, maybe I need to like start all blow this all away and start over. And I'm just always messing with these things, even though like in theory I have them saved somewhere. So I want a tool that I can say like it's a CLI tool. Any machine that I go on, just be like, for this project, you have my bundle ID, you have the whatever other information you need. Sync it, figure it out. I don't care. Do it for me. And then like it's not recreating certs all the time because it'll save them off like I do manually, but do it in a better automatic way. And then at the end of the day, if it's a new CI agent or whatever, if it's a new dev machine, all I have to do is just say like, just make this work for me, okay? And it'll
But
just work.
it's really still a John Dick problem because most
I
people
don't know.
have
That's
two
fine. That's
computers. You
fine.
have your house is like the Christmas vacation house when he turns on
Mhm.
all the lights. That's what the aliens will see. I've been making that joke for years to you, but seriously, when they come for us, it's going to be your house they see first. They're going to be like, Jesus, what's going on in that thing?
That's
He's like in
good.
the
That's
middle of
great.
nowhere and that house is lit up. John lives in like literally the farm area. So like it's like the North Korea of Canada. There's nothing there. And then there's John's house, which is lit up like the capital of North Korea. Not that you're in North Korea, but you're in a very dark
I
part
have
of
I have fewer firewall restrictions probably than they do. Um
yeah, you're giving all the radiation for your town
Yeah,
in
yeah. No, that's
one
fine.
spot.
And that's okay. If it's only at the end of this all, if it's only me that uses it, I'm happy that I have it. And if other people use it, then I get to say I told you so. It's fine.
Well,
It's a
that's
win-win.
yeah, no, that we keep track of points by the way, so it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I have screenshots of John. I'm sure he's keeping them of me, but he's not saying it, but he does.
So
So
where I was going with this, because we've
okay.
lost, the main plot here, is that so this tool had all these commands. To make this other tool, I needed more stuff implemented in like my library that deals with like App Store Connect API and stuff. And I've gone in to do it a few times, and every time I go, I'm like, this is a lot of like boilerplate, busy work, copy and paste. Like it's not hard. I can sit here and do it, but I got to do it for like 10 different things, and it's going to take me a couple hours to manually do it just because of the way it is. I'm like, I really don't want to do this. And so yesterday I finally was like, listen,
Listen.
Claude, you and me, buddy, Claude, go look at like you do the whole like init your code base so it documents what it thinks your project is about and everything. And then I'm like, okay, like you can see that I have a bunch of commands. You can see that Apple has their API. Like, go take this information and just tell me what I'm missing for functionality. Build a plan. And I've found this to be a good technique often is I'm like, build me a plan of what's missing, but then put it in a list. Like don't just get spam calls all day long. No, put it in a markdown file for me to see and for you to go off of. And then once it's done that, then I'm like, okay, now go get to work. And then it does. And so I have this huge PR with like about 10, no, I think it's more even. I think it's like 15 like new commands for this tool. to deal with like all the stuff that was missing. And I haven't done thorough like usage testing of it yet, but it in the tests that it wrote for itself, it seems like it all works. Um, but it did
It
this.
should work.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know. It probably does. It did this, and I didn't have to do a thing, and it did all of this work, and then it documented it for me because that was the other thing. I'm like, listen, my README kind of sucks. Go document the new stuff you added, but then also like fix up my stuff because it's not good. Organize it neatly, whatever. And it's like this is the perfect application of this stuff because it lets me get away from like the boring, monotonous parts that I don't necessarily dislike doing, but in this case, it was like I was never motivated enough to sit down and do it. And now it's there, and now I can move on with the thing that I wanted this for, right?
So here's the ultimate question for me, anyways. I have forever been trying to get AI to generate documentation for some of my stuff. So in some cases, either my code is too complicated or AI is stupid. Which one are we going with?
I mean, no,
Oh.
it's not.
Oh.
So the what's the problem I think would be in this case is that like you do have some complicated stuff, right? It's maybe going to have a hard time understanding what your shiny stuff is doing because there's not really like you kind of said before, like it's not copying from something else. It doesn't necessarily know. So like, yeah, for those scenarios,
but that is the case. It's usually copying from stuff. That's how AI learns, right?
No, that's what I mean. It's that your stuff is not copied from other things. Like it's fairly unique in that it probably doesn't know enough of a good, trained context of like what your stuff is trying to do. And so it's having a hard time figuring out like a good summary of it. So I think in those cases, like you still can gain value from it. It's that you have to do a little bit more legwork to kind of like describe the different pieces and like the general idea of what they're doing. And then at that point, you can maybe kind of start snowballing it on itself to get you where you want to be. Like that's the other part.
Making stuff up. It's the worst.
Yeah, no, for sure. But the thing that I've also like found super useful is like using it kind of as an iterative, like I said, like I don't just do the thing for me. First, build the outline, build the plan, right? It's like it's kind of the concept of like the spec driven development through AI. Like there's a whole genre of that in the world right now. And actually I've been playing with some of that with OpenSpec. I don't know how I feel about it yet. We could talk about that too. It's kind of interesting. But that's kind of the idea is like you got to start somewhere, but the somewhere can be fairly small, and then you start feeding things back in and cycling through AI with more direction at each step of the way and maybe more context that it's missing. And in doing that, you can actually like pretty reasonably get through the process to get you to your final goal with very little to start. So I think where we're at is it's not, you can't expect it to be like, yeah, go document my stuff and it to be necessarily good at it. It might need a little bit more initial help with how to think about organizing a plan to do it, and then helping with your assistants kind of iterating through that plan as you go.
Still sounds like I'm a far ways off my floating chair.
Yeah, probably. But
it feels like it.
But
that's all right.
Like, yeah. Anyway.
So we're writing stuff. So half of this is we babble.
Yep.
And we do the stuff and we talk about cool stuff. Lately just AI, which is kind of depressing, but
I mean, it's topical. Like it's where we're at, right? Like I said, I'm doing it day in, day out. So
for now you are, yeah. You and your AI stuff. Python does Python hurt though, John?
So I was telling Alan today, I said like, oh no, I had a C# file open and I went to comment out a line and I hit and I wrote the number sign, the what do we call it? What other names does it have?
Pound,
hashtag,
bang.
And
bang
that's obviously not how you do a comment in C#, but it is how you do a comment in Python. And it was one of those like silly little moments where I'm like, no, I'm now like, reflex Python.
To be fair, it's not reflexes. It is age at that point. When you get a lot of languages in your head, you tend to
Yeah.
flip them all the time.
Yeah.
I started doing it once I was after 40, and I was doing TypeScript and C and C++. Now, thankfully, most of those are more or less the same, but you start going, what the hell am I typing? What program am I even in right now? Yeah, I'm putting this code in the entirely wrong project. What is going on? So you got to reset. That's why Git is the save, because now you can just be like, yeah, no, that doesn't belong there. Uncommit.
Well, that's kind of what you need with AI too, always, right? Is like sometimes I still get into the mode where I'm like, oh, you did all this work and I don't like any of this direction. Like,
No,
let's
we're gonna
reset. Yeah.
That does happen. So we are still coding stuff somewhat by hand. We get AI involved occasionally. Just when I'm forgetting, because it's faster than, let's face it, if some of these things, it's faster than Googling, right? Like when we were stuck, we were like, we either had to go to the documentation site, and no offense to Microsoft, their documentation often sucks. So then you'd have to go Google or go to Stack Overflow. You'd find stuff, and then you'd be like, oh yeah, okay, great. So AI is kind of like the bridge. You know, it's like the search engine right there. Instead of having to copy and paste it, it's just going to do it for me. So anyhow, let's see if, and you can't complain about size today because I've already fixed it. I've already fixed it, John. You will see. You'll see. You will see. You'll still find something to complain about, I'm sure. But
Always.
Is it big enough today?
Today your network connection is not super great. It's
no,
okay.
That's you.
No,
that's you.
Oh, no, sir.
Well, to be fair, once
fine.
it gets to our streaming service, it's fine. So it is just you right now. It's only you that can't see. Once it's live, it's fine. It's just going to be hard to read. All right. What the hell was I doing here? Okay. So we've been working on this, kind of what we've been saying is a GPS from a mobile app to a back end, and then making it scale and having it all be deployable. So we kind of came at this from 3 different angles. One is, let's get an Aspire app, because Aspire is great for small apps, big apps, whatever. It's really good at kind of bringing everything together. Using Orleans, which is kind of good at making microservices not micro, right? While still having a very scalable kind of in-memory component with your timers and all that good stuff. And then last, having our .NET MAUI app push GPS in. Now, one of the things that I've been wanting to do was not implement SignalR for this. So we are going to have the kind of the fourth and final component of this will be to have a map in a web application of some sort, or maybe a logic app or whatever, and have that kind of being broadcast out, right? So SignalR is great if you got like stuff coming in and out constantly, but what it's not great at is it's a kind of a lot of infrastructure. If I'm read only, so just keep giving me map coordinates, right? So you don't really need SignalR for that. You just kind of really need one of the fancy new async enumerables, which is funny because those haven't really caught on yet. They've been there for a while, and I think they're only catching on now because of like MCP. So once again, AI is having its way with all of our stuff, right?
Because really, like, those are probably going to be best suited for something like a network kind of based thing, right? Like you don't need async to loop through stuff that's in memory.
Correct. So we got this thing. We've got our Aspire done. We've got our Orleans kind of ready. We might skip that just temporarily to get to the broadcasting of stuff. And then we have to get it out to this map app. So I figured what today we do is, first of all, our MAUI app should be done. So I've kind of locked this in. I think we just need the driver name, which I could enter somewhere. I think I do have my app in there. I think that's the right app. So anybody can try and steal my URL. That's fine. Don't broadcast coordinates to it. So we've got that. This is no longer a to-do. And I think this was just the driver name has to go in. So we could cheat for now, but let's see what we've got here. So we've got our main view model. This guy looks ugly. We've got a driver name. So we're going to just allow me to enter my driver name. And then I'm going to start or stop working. Which, by the way, I'm using data triggers. Do you use data triggers, John? Or do you use the inverse Boolean property for everything?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's what most people do. This is very verbose, but it just sometimes I hate bringing in converters for everything.
No. I hear you. That I don't know if they're still looking at it at all, but that was one of the things that I know I was talking about with Stefan, who's on the MAUI team.
Expressions.
Yeah, doing something kind of nicer in XAML, like letting you do a little bit of inline code with some kind of expression. So like just simple stuff like, hey, let me invert a Boolean within the binding or whatever expression itself. So maybe one day that'd be cool.
I thought it was coming, like it was spec'd for Net 10, and I haven't heard about it since.
So part of it was getting XAML source generation, like the XAML compiler, the compiled XAML. I don't know. Have you tried that? And well, you haven't really tried Net 10 stuff yet, right?
No, I'm not brave enough right now.
Yeah, so when Net 10 comes, try that out because I tried it out in Pool Math for Stefan, and it, as of RC2, like I had one little thing I had to change in my XAML, just because it wasn't funny. It sounds like it wasn't supported kind of ever. Like the XAML I had written wouldn't have worked anyway the way I thought. But
fantastic.
Other than that, it all works, and now like all your initialized component stuff is C# code, right? It's compiled in. There's no more like runtime crap, and there's no more IL weaving after the main stuff is built. It's like pretty sweet. So that's needed for kind of doing what we want to do there.
So I'm going to go ahead and spin up all of this stuff. We've got our GPS ping. We've got our grain. I've kind of wired this all up for Orleans. So let's get that going. We'll take a quick look at what it looks like. And then I will finish off our mobile app, and then we'll show what that looks like. Let's see if this is going to come up, though. Here comes the dashboard. Oh, maybe that's why I'm running overtime. I've got the stream going on the YouTube dash as well, so I'm using like double the bandwidth for everything. All right, so our API is up and running. Let's see if it's complaining about anything. Lots of stuff going on. Oh, see, Orleans is up and running. Redis is up and running. We have a database, so I don't know why we're using the database. It's complaining about something. What don't you like? Developer, GPS ping. I mean, send a GPS ping. What are you complaining about?
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez. But what are these hackers doing?
Somebody's already hit my API. That's fantastic. Was that you, John?
I thought I got the format right, but I guess not.
No, see, because it's a get. Or it's a post.
I did
Did you actually post to it?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did okay, it? Great. Yeah. So we'll see if it works later.
Well, you pissed it off. See, that's why I was like, who's posting stuff here already? There's like JSON serialization coming in.
Bring it down?
No, you didn't bring it down. Okay. You think I am a noob? You're not gonna bring it down. Okay. So there's my 404. There's John being not figuring out how to pass data properly. But it's all running. See? Resources. So it picked out our errors. Okay. Resources are all there. Useless database we've got running. Who cares? ngrok is running. That's why John can hit it. Redis commander. I also have, let's open this guy and see if this thing is running. 911. Protocol error. Why is it got to be on HTTP? Yes, there we go. So this is the Orleans dashboard. So this will show like all of the stuff running.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they had their own. I didn't realize that there's a whole separate dashboard thing. I wonder if they'll ever try and
this is actually open source.
Aspire.
They were talking about it. This is actually a community driven thing, but it's pretty awesome. Like streams, which we're going to get into a bit. Streams and are kind of like they're kind of like an event stream, like an async enumerable, except they're a little more powerful, kind of like channels. So they're very high speed and they're very resilient and durable. And then we've also got this other thing called broadcast channels, which are, they're fire and forget. If you hear them, great. If you don't hear them, great. The tree fell in the forest, nobody heard it, great. And that's good for GPS. But basically for everything that's here, I mean, this dashboard is pretty awesome. Tells you how many things are activated, right? So obviously some of this stuff like the dashboard grain is watching everything. But as we start to bring in our own grains, like our GPS pings and stuff, you'll see like, hey, there's activations here and how many requests per second can it
like
make.
why is that just because it's like doing its thing, talking to itself, making
Yeah.
sure it's up? Okay.
Yep.
It's like,
And
why are you
like
seeing
I
a
said,
bunch
it's
of
got
requests
reminders.
per second?
Well, it's talking to everything constantly. It's not really like a web API. It's very high performance. So like those conversations are like very quick and rapid, and they're local anyways. So it's not really a big deal. Again, there's things like silos. This is obviously just running within our web API, so that's why it's like it must just be local. Right. So lots of detail in this thing. We've added it through our program. Where's the program? Here, API. So that's it. It's a library plus that. Aspire is bringing in all the Redis stuff, and then it's mapping up all this. The only thing I had to do was tell it use a dashboard, and its port is 1911. Whoop-de-doo. And then we've got this handy little endpoint, which you were trying to post to and failing.
Well, I figured out the date
that's
format problem, so I'm getting there.
Okay. Oh, you're still cracking away on it to see if you
Why
can blow it
not?
up.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we've got basically enough to start here. I'm going to set a breakpoint though, so I can see when you're when you're trying to screw with things. So right now, the only thing that's got left is I've got this driver name that I've got bound, start work, stop work. That's just going to be to turn on GPS, turn it off. I think I've just got to put the name in.
Do
Go ahead.
you have a storage provider set up?
I don't right now. I do Redis, but I'm only going to store the current. I think what we were going to do is get into logs later. Because again, Orleans isn't for storing logs. It's for storing like the right here, right now, or say like the last 10, because it inflates it all down to one big file or one big blob. That's your grain storage. So if you start trying to store like thousands of objects there, it's going to hurt. Be smart. Be smart. So I am going to, how do I want to do this? My delegate is a singleton. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cheat here. Can I do that? I can do this, right? Am I being stupid about this? Do you know what I'm doing, John? You don't know
I think so. So, where's that delegate gets called back in the location service, like your background stuff, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to, this gets
so
registered
put that
by
in
name
there,
too.
and then you're going to set, it is a little ugly, but I mean, hey, it'll work for now.
It'll work. It'll do what it needs to do. So
like if you were doing that for real, how would you typically configure it? So right now you're basically saying like, give me the injected instance of that delegate that's going to get called in the background, injected in the background as well. And it's a singleton, right? So you're going to be able to assume it's the same instance. You can set the driver name. Like, would you maybe instead choose to have like that driver name is maybe stored in like a SQLite database or something after you log in, right?
Yeah, probably secure storage or settings or something. Lots of utilities out there for that.
Yep.
Let's see. We got navigation. I'm just trying to set up our error handling. That's good. Okay. Let's not worry about logging right now. So our Orleans and wow, something got busy here. Are you still hitting it?
I'm not right now.
Yeah. Well, somebody's having fun with it. So we've still got Orleans up and running. I'm going to see what's going on. You are.
I
Driver
so,
red.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not hitting it, guys, but I am hitting it.
No, I mean, not for a bit. I did again. I don't know what that does
Yeah.
to it.
It just
So that, yeah,
pisses
that's
it
why I
off.
was asking about. There's no storage provider named driver store found loading grain type driver.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put some of that stuff in once
Yeah.
we start calling the endpoints. But right now, let's get this puppy up and running. Okay, so I want to get the cool thing about for those that use Rider, I love Rider. It's a fantastic little IDE. You can debug two things at one time. Which, yes, you can do it in Visual Studio, but you got to kind of set up the project configuration and stuff, which sucks.
Yeah.
This
I don't know if they've
you just do.
also like, I don't know if they ever changed stuff to handle multi-targeting nicely with that either.
Oh, well.
That was always a problem with MAUI because like you could set up multiple projects to like be startup projects and debug, but you couldn't pick like which framework for one of those projects you wanted.
Actually, I don't want this deploying to my phone. I want to, or do I? Let's
No,
see.
you want to? Well, I guess.
So,
yeah,
the David Ortnow curse. The only time this hasn't worked was when I was live streaming with Dave. Dave Ortnow, for what it's known, every time I live stream with him, he is like a universal curse to me to be able to do this stuff. So far, John isn't bad.
No,
it's pretty good.
Good.
This is up and running. That is my phone. That is my phone, so I can deploy to it because everybody will be able to see it. So let's go ahead and run this puppy. We'll give it a minute. And what that's going to do is we're going to hopefully see my ugly UI to be able to start and stop GPS. Then I should be able to go. Funny part is it wasn't hitting the breakpoints when you were hitting it. Oh, because it's failing before it even gets in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, it's a bad provider config exception. So I'm assuming that happens fairly early.
Yeah, I guess it's before it's even getting here because I had a breakpoint set. So if you hit it now, it's failing, correct? Before, like I can't break it. Well, let's make sure our MAUI app is running.
The grain factory is trying to actually create the grain.
Gotcha. Well, we'll fix that in un momento. As soon as this gets firing on my phone, then we can make sure that's one component that's done. Then I will go through. Actually, while that's compiling, why don't we look here and see? So we don't have streaming or broadcast channel set up. That's fine. With storage, with grain storage. And we will also put Redis into this. No, I had grain storage. Oh, I know why. Because I didn't have a... Yeah, so this is one of these things. Kind of one of the cool things I think actually with Orleans is that this persistent state, like you could store it to an Azure blob,
so can
database record.
You can inject multiple persistent state instances and have different storage providers.
Yeah. So one could be going to like the database and another one could be going to Azure blob storage and you'd never know the difference. Which that's pretty awesome if you ask me. Like, so we've got this.
So driver store, it didn't. Yeah, that was the thing it didn't like. So is that just goes to default then, assuming?
Yeah, I think it default. It's storage name of the. It's taking a long ass time to get to my phone today, isn't it? Storage name of the provider. So we'll fix that in a second. So I saved that. Let's see if this is up and running on my phone. It is.
There you go.
Start working is not doing anything yet. That's great. Now it should work. It's not working. Why aren't we working here? Let's see what I missed. What did I miss, John? Oh, I didn't map anything up. It's my own library and I didn't map anything up. I generated maps. There we go. So why don't we just go ahead and I'm going to shut it all down because I fixed too many things. So basically what was happening there is my view model wasn't even on the page. That's awesome. So I'm going to start up the HTTP again, and then you can bomb that while I'm getting the mobile app up.
Not there yet. Your tunnel isn't hooked up yet.
No, not yet. Well, it's unhooked now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do, come on, stop, debug. in a second. Man, it is going slow today.
Yeah, you got a lot happening. Stream, etc.
Should I
So you
save
need
some memory?
another Mac.
Can't close that. If I close the browser, stream's going offline real quick.
So you're bringing up all the things again.
I'm bringing up the dashboard first. We'll check and see. I think that should be all that needs to be fixed. Give it a second. Don't start ramming on it right away.
I'm not. I'm waiting.
I think it's ready. Let's see what the web API thinks. No, the web API is still spinning.
So are these all deployed as containers now? Like, is that what's like what happens?
Let's give this a second. It's being stupid right now. What's it not happy about? Placement Orleans directly. It is very angered, but it is running. So let's see. So yes, everything is running. So if I open up my Docker without all my other crap running, oh good, I did clean it off before we came in here. So
yes,
this is our gone.net, our Redis commander, Redis, the ngrok instance. That's the tunneling.
Okay, yeah. I didn't realize that's in the container yet too.
It made a database, which is interesting. And our web API is running directly. It's not running in a container yet. So it's basically running. What does it think this is? Let's see. Actually, that is running right here. That's this guy. That's this guy. So it runs everything in the container and allows us to debug it. It also creates, sorry, I closed that. It also creates the volumes.
Okay, you get some volumes, right?
So there's our gone.net data volume. So that's where like our database is housed right now. That's pretty much it right now. I think that's all I've got going there is our useless database that doesn't store anything yet. Okay, so we've got our API up and running. You want to bomb away on it, John? Make it angry.
Might hit a break point.
See, there we go. I hit the break point.
Nice.
So we're gonna get the grain. It's good. Now I'm gonna go into our grain, and hopefully
it do it before it times out.
And there we go. You passed some sort of weird random data, but it's found everything that we need. It's saved. So we know our API is now working, proven by Mr. Redth. And now we'll get the API going, or sorry, our mobile app going. And so what we're doing right now is we're just trying to prove, hey, we can get stuff in. It loads up the grain, which may be on a silo. In this case, we're just running it on our API. But silos are like these remote things that they can spawn. They can manage under a Kubernetes instance. So they can be like, hey, these guys are blowing us up. We need more space. It's really a fantastic tech. So once we're pushing our locations into it, then what the hope is like I said, we'll have another web app or logic app, and we might have a guest come on to do that. And the GPS coordinates will go through this and back out to our web app, and we'll see that on a map. And we should see, I'll play like a script to say, here I am driving around, and that'll just show up on the map. But really, it's pretty cool. Like there's not a lot.
It really like, and nothing. There's no like. I think that the striking thing anymore too, and I know that there's lots of different ways to do this kind of stuff, but it's like you're no longer orchestrating like, oh, I've got a HTTP server and I gotta do this and I got a web controller API and I'm moving things around that way. Like it just feels like a really elegant way to put together those sorts of pieces and functionality without having to deal with like the details of the transport and all of how things fit together. So yeah, cool. Look at that.
By the way, there's your grain. So this is the grain. It's running local. I found you.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's beautiful.
And if I update that now, If I send a different value, it's going to be the same timestamp. I don't know if that matters. We should see the
It doesn't
dashboard
because it's just
because it's just
so
showing
let's
it.
show details.
Yeah, there we
There
go.
we go.
42. Yeah, cool. It's crazy.
It's beautiful. And really, I know it doesn't look like much, but this thing scales like there's no tomorrow. Like it
Yeah.
really, you can do some really cool stuff. Like I said, you can replace cache. I mean, it's funny that it's using Redis because that's usually what you use for cache.
Mhm.
But if you use Orleans properly, you can actually use it to store cached items. And when the grain goes, you haven't touched me for a while, I'm shutting down, right? It can clear out all the cache because you can keep you don't have to have a grain. Like in this grain, we're actually using persistent state,
Yeah.
but there's nothing to stop me from storing this GPS coordinate locally in memory. And when the grain shuts down, obviously that memory evaporates,
Yeah.
right? Like it's pretty cool. And because that's a thing that we don't really get. Like mobile apps, obviously we're used to having memory, but so many developers are like server side engineers, so not used to having a piece of memory hang around
Yeah, right.
unless they've got a singleton service.
Well, yeah, and usually that's like, oh, my memory is I wrote something to the database or to the cache server, which yeah, I guess all of this is kind of what's happening, but just the way that you actually articulate it is so nice and clean.
And main view model. Okay, what did I do wrong here? Can change status. Can execute is can change. Oh, let's just get rid of the stupid filter for now. I'm not debugging, man. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Dear AI, why doesn't this work?
It's funny because I don't think it was actually debugging. I didn't see it in my list to stop. I'm just going to remove the filter. I know darn well what needs to happen. So just like if the current listener's not set, we'll set the driver name on. I think it was just I had to have a driver name, and probably my logic is bleh. So if we're not listening to anything, we're going to set the driver name on the delegate, which is this guy. So that's what our authentication is. And then we're going to start the GPS listener in real time. So this is just it's just gonna hammer. The one thing I like about iPhone, it will just keep blasting away at GPS coordinates.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how does that end up looking from a how many requests are you gonna get a second, or how many like updates are you gonna get a second?
Probably, I would say a request per second.
Okay.
Really, the GPS coordinates come in every second, right? You can't filter them anymore. You have to do that in code.
Yeah.
The one thing that iOS is a pain with the new GPS stuff is that it tends to shut down the GPS listener if you're not moving and your app is in the background. That's annoying. And I don't think a lot of people realize that now, and you can't fight with it. It's just, that's how it works now.
Yeah, I
Kinda
know. Well, I mean, yeah, but I get it, right? It's like they're trying to make sure things run relatively well and apps aren't blowing up people's batteries and
Sure. Okay, hot reload is not active. So it's angry about a bunch of things, but at least the button's there. Okay, so let's see what goes on here. Start, yes, allow while using app. Change to always allow. So now,
is that because you want like fine grain or whatever?
yes. Now the thing is this blasting coordinates right now? GPS reading.
Yeah.
They're
Seems
coming
like
in. That is the right app. GPS is the name of the endpoint.
it's not me.
Okay.
I'm on the
so it is going
42.
through. It is going in. Let's see where our grains are. So we only have the one activation. So, but you haven't hit it in a while. So let's see.
No, I haven't hit it. Well,
Let's see what's going on. Let's check. Show details. There is a grain.
does it not look that up automatically? I guess no.
So something's not pushing through. Let's go back. Let's go set a breakpoint at our endpoint and see what filth I have done. It doesn't want to debug, eh? Okay, let's bring down this guy. And then we'll bring him back up. My app can keep barreling away at it.
I think that's another difference too from Visual Studio to this. Like, I don't think you could start and stop individual. Like, you had to, like you said,
Yeah.
preset what you wanted. So that is kind of nice that you can kind of just independently bring stuff up.
I love Rider.
They should add that to the VS. I don't know why they don't.
I don't know, man. It's awesome because even if the breakdown here, you can see that there's the Android and there's the iOS version, right?
Yeah, and like that. Yeah, I mean that the selector is a bit different. I guess maybe that's part of why the UI doesn't really lend itself to like how would you articulate that.
So my app should be continuously blasting at this thing because I haven't stopped it. So it is still working. Let's see. I'll set a breakpoint here again. Oh, look at.
Yeah,
I guess Riders today it doesn't want to set debug back on this one. So let's go check. So that the app is up and running again. See, it's angered. This is the thing with Orleans in Aspire right now, is it tends to try and hook things up before, like at exactly where it was before, and it's like,
so
okay,
you might see a bunch of errors, even though it's gonna like figure it out and stabilize.
Yeah, it's got to go refigure itself out. So it tends to error a few times and then go, yeah, this wasn't quite where we were before. And then it goes, oh, okay, now I got it figured out. So now it's shut up. It's figured itself out. Let's see the Orleans dashboard. So we still have a driver green. Does Alan show up yet? No, I am there, but I'm not getting coordinates. So we got something broken. But I don't know if we want to fix that today or if we want to continue with what we've got.
Yeah, I mean we're up at the hour, so I think.
So we've got our app working.
I mean, it's interesting, like how quickly the pieces came together. From the little bit of time that we spent actually doing this and not just blabbering about other stuff.
Right. Did we set the driver name? I did set the driver name.
Yeah.
Set it on here. So it started. It set that. Oh, it did find my green. So we know it started my green. It just didn't push in the details for whatever reason.
Details, yeah.
Are you still in there? Did you hit?
I haven't done it lately, but maybe.
You're still in there. See, that's the other cool thing is this is the last time. See, unfortunately, you're using a fake date stamp.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just plugging it in.
It's got you from last time you were in here.
Yeah.
Do you still have your HTTP up?
Yeah.
Blast it again.
Hold on. Let me change the value so you actually see what's happening. Oh, I can do even better. I know. We're not airing, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
What are you doing?
No, nothing. There you go.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, let's see what you put in. I didn't bother to debug it through. Oh, there we go. So yours came in fine. So something is with the app, which is fine. We'll fix that up.
Yep.
We've got our timestamp. We've got our lat long. So I think we didn't do much today, but we've got all the pieces working together now. So like I said, I think the next part I'm going to do is get some async enumerables out of this, assuming that Logic Apps or our web app can do it, and we'll get a map up. Yep.
Oh yeah. So you're going to add an endpoint basically, and to get the stream of updates that are happening. Is that the idea?
Yes. So I mean, I can do that pretty quick.
Yeah, like just mock that out right now because I think that'd be kind of interesting to leave off on anyway.
So we're gonna have let's shut it all down so I have some speed here. There's some memory left. So I'm gonna do will be drivers. Let's just call it drivers because that's who we're looking up. We will have an async from services. Oh, look at this. Not an iDriver green. No, so now the cool thing, there's a couple things in like I said, there's streams, which is like the high performance, like if you've used .NET channels, which is a really cool tech.
Yeah.
It's very good for getting events. So they've got streams. They've also got, like, let's say I want to hook into just the Allen grain. So, or the red grain. You can also say, you can pass in a callback to that. That's kind of like an event handler. And read that out. But really, if you want to get kind of a high, like give me all of the drivers, not just one.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a stream that we want to use. So you got to go in and configure that as well.
So is that like so what does that look like from like for Orleans? Like I'm trying to envision because right here you've got a grain factory, and you're like, give me the particular grain for presumably the primary key, which is the driver name. So there's some concept of give me like all the grains, like no key.
So what will, yeah, basically a stream is like it doesn't have to be tied to a grain. It's
Okay.
like I
So
got
is
a
it like
great
a
analogy
stream of
for
like
it.
state changes or something?
I literally have the best way to imagine a river. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got a river, there's you, myself, and there's a whole bunch of people on the river. Um, I might write my name on my little boat that I'm going to throw into the river, and you might write your name on the boat, but we
Mhm.
want to see both boats at the other end. So you and I
Right.
both drop our paper boats, and it goes down the stream, and somebody's there, catches them, and goes, "This is the red boat, and this is the Allen boat. I see them both. Great, I got them." Right. So it's like it's not grain oriented. It's the grains kind of, I don't know, for lack of a better
Right.
term, dumping
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah, I guess,
Um,
are you able to mock a tiny bit more here? Like, you're not
yeah.
gonna use get grain, right? Like, what, like, I guess what I don't understand yet is how, like, what is the data unit, or like, what is the object? What are you asking Orleans for particularly in that
So
case? Like, you're asking it for a
normally,
stream, but
normally what you do is, how I would do it is, you get this client cluster. So again, if we're talking about grain factory is more of a server thing. So
yep.
that's an Orleans server thing. We're cheating.
Okay.
Technically you use this client. So this is like the thing that connects this out. You don't usually run grains on your API.
Right. So
Okay.
you've got a client to the
Two
Orleans cluster.
Orleans could be right beside us, or it could be on a different server, or it could be halfway across the world. We don't know. Right.
Right.
So I can still get grains with this thing, right? So I can
Okay.
still get a
Okay.
remote reference to a grain, but I can also, I probably don't have the streaming provider installed, which is why it's not showing up. Get stream. Yeah, it's not installed. Let me see here. Let's install. Nope, wrong place. Let's install the streaming provider right on our implementations, because that's where all this stuff is going to go. Microsoft Orleans. Come on, bud. Let's do a search here. And I'll go down until I find this stupid thing. Streaming. But I want a specific streaming, not Azure storage. I want, oh, of course they don't have a Redis one. Fantastic. All right. Well, we'll get where we get. Let's just install streaming for now. So we've got streaming. Come on. So now client should have get. See, get streaming provider there is now.
Okay.
So again, I could have a red stream if I wanted to. I could have an Allen stream. Like if I want to listen to a specific stream, so like I want to go on the St. Lawrence, or I want to go,
So
on the Amazon River specific, probably just call it default for all intents and purposes. You want to hear it
I
all.
think the part that maybe I was missing is that I'm assuming now on the grain side you have to put something to the stream.
Yes. So it's
Okay.
just kind of like a location where you can push and pull from.
Yes. Okay.
The difference
That makes more
is that
sense.
how you pull from it is interesting. They've even got it so like we could have it, like in this case we call it drivers. So they have like multiple categories. So I'm actually going to call this one drivers,
Right.
because you hook up by a stream ID. So this is where I could say Redth, or more specifically. So we're looking for drivers of
Okay.
whatever. And this is kind of where I think things get a little stupid, because it's like, do I care about that? Right.
Yeah.
I don't.
Right.
I understand it though. It's because if you listen to, like, let's say, kind of one of the advertisements that Orleans puts out there is that we can have a grain for every person on the planet and still have memory to spare. That's kind of their joke, but it's true. So imagine listening to every river in the world with everything coming through it, right? You'd have the mega hotspot, like everything is coming through that dumping, and there's just too much. So this is why they kind of force you to do this. So then we'll do get stream provider. And then we kind of tell it, okay, well, what data are we expecting on this? I think I'm going to reuse our GPS pings. We'll just push our GPS pings back through it. So what we send in just comes back out the other end.
Okay, yeah.
That sounds kind of awful, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then we subscribe async and we do an into. Oh yeah, these are async. This is like async RX. It's pretty awesome. And then, okay, it wants the error. What are you still mad about? You shouldn't be mad anymore. Let's do, what are you mad about?
Is the exception callback asynchronous too?
I think I got to do on next async. You still aren't happy. So we've got that. Let me save the subscription anyways. You have to store this. So while we're listening, we have to store this guy. What we're going to do is eventually push this out. So to do return as async enumerable. So UI can render as events come in. So what we're going to do is subscribe. I can't remember why this syntax is failing on me right now. I think it's because you got to do.
Yeah, I think
the item and then the ID, the stream ID that comes in.
Okay.
Okay, so you're happy with that kind of. Should we do? SID.
Mm-hmm.
So it's happy with that. What's not happy about the exception? Oh, I know why. It's like, dude, return a task for me. So that one is that. And then async is the error. So this is going to be async as well. And that is the error coming in. So that looks fine. And then we've got the completion, which is also an async. So it's a very angry.
Yeah, it's kind of a gnarly method signature. Don't love
well,
that.
It's because they want you to solve for everything. So in this case, it's like, hey, what's the item coming in? So it's a GPS ping. What's the stream ID if you want to, because you can listen to multiples, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the exception if there's an error? And then when that stream completes, so let's say, they close the valve and no more water comes down, then you need to stop it. Yep. So what we'll work towards now that I've got that stream provider installed is subscribing to it. And then the async enumerable will just keep pushing it out. And we'll probably have to, the good thing is I've got the method to do it, but we'll probably have to use something like server-side events, which they said it's coming in .NET 10, but it's actually really easy to emulate in Net 9. Just to pump out, here's an async event, or here's a server-sent event. Here's our GPS ping, do what you will with it. So it'll be pretty easy.
Yeah, no, that looks good. I think that, and that ties together, like I said, the part I was having a hard time with was like, what's the model that kind of gets passed around, but it makes sense now that, okay, I'm going to create a stream on the grain, presumably, right?
Right.
And then, push out anytime you get that update in, push that out to the stream, and then it just kind of all just fits together.
So it's a little complicated, but yeah, that's what we're going to get to, is pushing that into the stream. So we're almost there.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good progress for not a ton of time. Like you said, it all just kind of comes together, right? And so where you started at the start of this stream to like what's all there now, yeah, it wasn't a ton of stuff that went in, but it just kind of shows you how it just glues together.
You got to read the docs on this stuff, though. This is where it gets a little more complicated because it's got to be performance driven.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people get hung up on it.
Oh, I think this is all like super cool. It's really fascinating, and I think I probably many others too. If anyone else is listening anyway, like my brain is like just swirling with like, oh, how would I use this for the kind of this scenario and that kind of thing, right? Like there's so many opportunities to use this,
and we've only scratched the surface. Like I said, there's reminders. Imagine being able to keep a timer, like a persistent timer for an object in your code, right? And just, I'm going to say, I want this timer or this reminder to wake up in 7 days, and it kicks up in 7 days, and you can go, yeah, okay, I got to tell this loser, hey, pay your bill, right?
Yeah.
It can do those things. It's just it's a fantastic little tech. The one thing I will say is that because it's a Microsoft tech, I chose Redis because Redis is pretty easy for all of the things
Yeah.
to put into Aspire and then put into Orleans. And I didn't pay attention that there is no
There's no
Redis provider
streaming.
for
Yeah.
streaming, which Redis has
Yeah.
streaming. So I'm like,
Okay.
I wonder.
Maybe there's
before we give
something
up
out there
on
by
it.
someone else.
And they have it. I could push it in ADO. They do have an
Oh,
ADO.net.
oh, weird.
Well, that's a next week problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a next week problem.
Cool. Well, I think I mean that's a good place to stop for today as people are going and getting all their candy and watching the Blue Jays win the World Series. Yeah, I think that'll do it.
All right. Let me find
Thank
the
you,
actual button so I can
everybody.
hang up.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Sounds good. Bye, everybody. If I actually end the stream.